So tonight again, we have Pastor Kokou with us. Pastor Kokou is a Seventh-day Adventist pastor in America. He is a medical missionary and literature evangelist and also a herbalist. Pastor Kokou also lectures gospel medical missionary. He does courses and he's the lecturer as well. We had Pastor Kokou here on this line several times before, and we have also used the advice that he has given us to change our lifestyle and also to be more healthy. I myself is a student of Pastor Kokou. Tonight, we are excited to hear again from Pastor Kokou on the topic, the female topic of fibroids. Pastor Kokou believes in holistic health, holistic healing. So he teaches practical theory. He teaches the physical part of the gospel medical missionary. He also teaches the emotional part and the spiritual part as well. So holistically, practical, emotional, and spiritual. So Pastor Kokou, I'm pleased to hand you over now to the platform, and we look forward to hearing you once more. Thank you.
All right, we thank God for life and for his provisions. We are going to talk about fibroid, and the idea here is we're going to talk about fibroid, and our main idea is not just about what to use to them, but much more, how do we help this generation? Because that is a real problem. If we do not get it from that perspective, we are going to be in big trouble. I was saying that the main thing in this presentation is not really about, well, it's more than just helping those who have fibroid issue right now. Because I will suggest that we pay a good attention to what is going on. I encourage everyone to look at the statistics of women's health since 1950s until now. You will see a drastic change. I mean, very drastic, not in a good way at all. This is my interpretation. There's a kind of engineering of the society. And when you connect that with the end time, you will see it's a kind of conditioning. Now, let us pay attention to this. God have a purpose. His purpose and vision is to really fill a human being with his fullness. And Satan cannot stop God from what he wants to do. It's like if Satan can't stop God, then he's going to go after human being. So how do we get on earth? We are first chosen in Christ before the foundation of the world, Ephesians 1 verse 4. And then we are created in Adam. Genesis 1:26 and 1 Corinthians 15, verse 20 to 23. Then born from our father and mother. The only stage where Satan can interfere is at the level of the mother. And then later on, if he can introduce us to a bad lifestyle. So Satan wants to mess up the soil of life. And the soil of life is women. Please, I suggest you pay good attention to me, because when we get this incorrectly, we are going to start talking to our daughters, sisters, mothers, and all. So it's more than just the condition of fibroid. There is a problem. It's a control of our whole being. Let me give you some example. In 1950s, even to 60s, up to 70s, women have their first period when they are 16, sometimes 17. They mature properly. Now, here in America, it's 9-year-old or 10. You can see a drastic change. You can see there is an engineering of women. And we don't have, it's not really about men today, although I'll go there too, on the sperm count, everything. It's a kind of global agenda. Now, if there is a change, that means there's a huge change in the woman reproductive organ. And where the child is conceived, where do you have the woven, where the tissue of the child and the mother come together, is right there in the uterus. Guess what? Where do you have fibroid? Right there. Next to that is, there's a lot of product being introduced to women. A whole lot. A lot of product for their hair, their nail, feminine product. It's so much stuff for the face, for the lips, even they have to shave their whole body. There's so much introduced, but they don't tell you the side effects. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. Then the food is modified. Then there are food that are designed specifically to mess up with your hormones. And when you get sick, then there are medication full of toxins also. And slowly we are having another kind of society. So if you take Adventist Church in 1960s, you take all the women and you test them about everything they have with the woman problem. Let's say a church that have 200 members, okay? Maybe 130 of women, for example. And you take the same portion of people today, and you do a very detailed study on their health when it comes to women's health, you are going to be shocked the change that occurred. So if we become aware of that, then we will understand the problem. If not, we are going to be medicating our people with natural remedies, and the problem will continue. Everybody get me so far? If we don't study the cause very well, we don't pay attention to the whole process, how do we get to this level, and we just want to use some natural remedies, then we are missing out. So please, my goal is not just about, okay, you can do this, you can do that for your fibroid, to shrink your fibroid, or to do that. If I only do that, then, sorry, that is not enough. Maybe 5%, or maybe 1% actually. 99% is let our mind be opened to the reality of the problem. What is going on? Why we have become like this? A regular woman nowadays, look at your life. What do you eat? You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know how much toxin is in it. Here in America, it's so bad that Europe refused the wheat from America, refused a lot of food from America. Because we are champion in being intoxicated, and we prey on it, unfortunately. If you look at average sister today, if it's much younger, you will see that when you are born, they start putting a lot of things in your body. And then even your underwear are full of chemicals. Therefore, only cotton should be used by women and by men also. Then you are introduced to hair products that you don't really know how it affects your hormones. Then you got to be put a lot of heavy makeup on yourself, and a lot of them go straight in your bloodstream. Then you gotta you can put a fake nails and with a lot of chemical going in your bloodstream still. Then you are going to be taking birth control, some other stuff. Are you following me? Then, you know, birth control was introduced in the 1960s. Like, that's why they make it really public. So when you look at how much thing was introduced to women, and you see the result, you can quickly see the new conditioning is the problem. So if you just come here to learn about, use the alum root to really, reduce or cut off the bleeding, and mix up alum root and some shepherd needle and this and that, it will be wrong. It will be medicating. If I don't tell you about what's really going on, guess what? You're going to continue the same lifestyle that make you sick and take some herb, and that will maintain you in disobedience. We see that? One more time. If we only recommend some natural way to deal with this problem right now, and we don't really fix it, then guess what? The problem will remain. The problem will remain. And all the natural stuff we're going to be doing will maintain us in the same disobedience, in the same conditioning of what is going on right now. It's very important that these days we pay good attention that the health issue is not neutral when it's come to the great controversy. It's a main power. Satan is after women, seriously. When the Bible says go after women as a church, also go after women as physically, literally women, because you are the soil of life. I beg every parent, start talking to your daughters, your sisters, your mothers, whoever. There's a need of a kind of awakening, awareness, call for everybody to wake up, that something is being done to the soil of life on earth. And I wish I have enough time to spend whole much time on this point. I will give a few examples. The wheat is, they found things in the wheat that come from the chemical conditioning they are doing now, so much spray on the wheat. You have something called zearalenone that's severely interfering with women's hormones. Next one is here in America, the second largest herbicide. It is called atrazine. And atrazine is able to change a male frog into female. So now if women, you are having this kind of food, what do you think happened to your hormones? Today, soy is becoming very toxic. We are Adventists, many of us we are trying to be plant-based. The soy and the tofu and the soy oil, soy whatever, soy milk we were eating in 1980s, it's not the same today. Today is deeply modified, very oestrogenic. It feed your fibroid big time. We are introduced to canned food. You know how they preserve the can from being rust? They have to put oxygen precursor to preserve that can from being, And we are so exposed, our food, our water, full of lead and other chemical, too much fluoride, chlorine, is so much intoxication that is interfering with our hormones. So that being said, what is the whole point? I want you after this talk, or this little lecture here, a little presentation, that you start researching what is really going on with your food when it relate in connection with the fibroid, what is going on with your body products, your perfume, your lotions, your hair products, your soap, your underwear, your medication, your food, your water in the plastic containers. Some people put a hot food in a plastic plate and eat it. You got to go to the detail to understand why do we get this way right now, this condition. And then they're going to bring a whole lot of change. And that is the goal of this presentation. Then the little suggestion we are going to make now will be very beneficial. Only when we understand the cause and correct it from right there. We good so far? So let's talk about fibroid. There are different kinds of fibroid. We have a major 3 and another one, the 4th one. So number 1 is the intramural fibroid growth within the muscular uterine wall. Number 2 is submucosal fibroid bulge into the uterine cavity. And number 3, subseral fibroid project to the outside of the uterus. And then number 4, pedunculated fibroid. Let me show the picture to make it much easier. So if the fibroid grows this way, when it is the intramural, meaning it's in the wall, okay? In the wall, within the wall of the muscle of the uterus. When it's grown to the outside, that will be subserosal fibroid. Now it's going within and bulge within the uterus, the cavity right here, that will be called submucosal fibroid. And then when it's a suspended, it's kind of growing as a pedunculated fibroid right here. Now, why is it important to pay attention to this? Because it's going to direct the way you are going to be treating it. If the fibroid is within here or outside, it's going to guide what we will be doing. That is a very important. If that fibroid is within here, the bleeding will be a whole lot with your period because the fibroid is right in uterus. You see the red, the very red cavity you have right here? Is where you have, when it's engulfed, it creates a kind of a blood net. And when you don't have any fecundation, you are not pregnant, that is gonna break down, that will give you period. Now, during the period, you have the fibroid right here, and they're gonna participate in the bleeding. That's why you can bleed way longer than it should be. All right, let's continue. And now it's much detail here. This can grow outside, completely outside. Okay, the pedunculated fibroid can be like this. Now, different possible causes of fibroid. Number 1, food that cause or promote growth, like nowadays will be soy, flaxseed. Flaxseed is deeply modified nowadays. It used to be one of the best seed, maybe the king of flaxseed, and the black seed are at the top. But the flaxseed is deeply modified today, and they're becoming a problem. Too estrogenic. Number 2, food or anything that can trigger insulin. Why? Insulin is a very powerful growth hormone. So what can you catch quickly right there? If someone have fibroid and also diabetic, you are going to see that it will be difficult to deal with his fibroid condition than someone else that have fibroid but does not have diabetes type 2 condition. Everybody catch that? So you are not going just to be taking care of fibroid. What are all that problem around? Number 3, food or anything that can trigger oxygen increase. Body products, oxygen precursors, some medication. We are going to look at the list very soon. Number 4, food or anything that can trigger what? Inflammation, fibroid, fibrosis, sorry, and angiogenesis. So when we pay attention to these possible causes, this is going to guide us on how to reverse the cause. We good? Let's continue. Now, what the difference between the fibroid and uterine polyps? We are not going to talk about uterine polyps today because of the time we have. We're going to much talk about fibroid, but I can quickly mention the difference. The fibroid are of the connective tissue origin, while the polyps are of what? Epithelial origin. So you can look at it, you can look at the difference. It's from the epithelial cells, but the fibroid are from what? Connective tissue. Now, the endocrine disruptors. From here, may we pay good attention, please. Number 1, BPA. BPA is almost in the plastic and resin, and this mimic what? The estrogen. So if you are someone that drink every day from plastic bottle, they might put on that BPA free, but you're not sure how free is that. Nowadays, company pay big money to have their product label. Everyone should be aware of that. Next one is dioxin. This is a chemical formed during industrial processes that has potential to disrupt male and female sex hormone. It's full in your wheat, have it, especially here in America. It's everywhere, in your fish, milk, egg, everywhere. Number 3 is atrazine. It's an herbicide widely used on corn crops linked to the feminization of male frog. I just talk about it. This is it have the leaking of the estrogen in the water people are drinking today. It's in the food and everything. Number 4 is phthalate. Phthalate. And this is a big deal also in everything that we are using with plastic, everything, and underwears. It's horrible stuff. It's much hurting men. Number 5, perchlorate. And that is one of the things that's messing up with your thyroid gland. The fire retardants. These are the products that also interfere with your thyroid problem, thyroid organ. Number 7, lead. Lead in your water is a big deal. If your memory, it's in your water, it's everywhere. This interferes deeply with your hormones. Even cause premature death and many things. Premature birth, sorry. Number 8 is arsenic. And that is found in a lot of drinking water today. Mercury, we know that very well, either in your mouth or in your water or in your fish. Fish carry a lot of mercury, especially the way they grow it. And number 7, another one called perfluorinated chemicals. And the list continue. We just mentioned a few of them. We have organophosphate pesticide, also messing up with the behavior and fertility. And we got glucose ethers, same problems. So I'll put just few lists here. So what is a real problem? Let's look at it. The endocrine disruptors have a potential to change the way your body functions and have been linked to long-term health problem in animals. If you are concerned about their effect on your body, try to limit your exposure. So our suggestion right now is all you can do to be very much aware of the endocrine disruptors in your in your food, your body product, in your habit, everything, water, anything. Start as much as you can cutting off this thing and replace them with the one that's much safer for you. Now you have the endocrine disruptors and estrogen problem. The endocrine disruptor here we call it ED. Okay, it's different from erectile dysfunction. For here, ED here represents endocrine disruptor. It's a substance that interferes with the body endocrine system, producing adverse effects. And that is the problem we are having. If we continue, we're going to say here, a major challenge in the endocrine disruptor testing is the accurate measurement of thyroid hormone level at a very low concentration. Very low concentration, we get that? Very low concentration. Many estrogen disruptors assays require the measurement of serum thyroid hormone T3 and T4 in fetuses or pups. Now, if we are not paying good attention, these are researchers, I just mentioned a few here, go and check it out. The product we are using daily are the main problem. So if I keep repeating again and again that it's not about looking for the best herb, the best thing, what should I do? Castor oil pack, do this, do that. But you are not cutting off the estrogen disruptors. I'm sorry, you are medicating yourself with natural remedies and you will not go anywhere. That's why many people can reverse their fibroid problem because they keep all of the endocrine disruptors along with their lives. So we are going to look at something here and we are going to get some conclusion out of it. Pay good attention to this. This is the fibroid. This is the uterus. And have a fibroid growing here. But you are going to see this red thing you are seeing here. I introduced, let me put this way, right here. So they're going to use some catheter and get to the fibroid. Then they will put a lot of particle to block blood supply to the fibroid so that they can starve the fibroid and shrink it. It's called a uterine fibroid embolization. We are going to pay good attention to it because if we understand this, it's going to help us to develop something better in a natural way. Okay, here is the picture that can give you better. Look at this one. This green thing right here. This is a catheter, right? It's a catheter. But within the catheter, they put something. What is that? The catheter is introduced first in the femoral arteries. And you see this little white bullet you have here? Let me show you what it is. That white bullet is called polyvinyl particles. So they will put enough to block what? The blood supply to the fibroid. What is the intention? To shrink the fibroid. Because the fibroid needs to be fed. So, and it does produce results to some good extent, but how long are you going to be doing this for life? That's a question. So what are we getting from this is, if you have a blood that is favorable to bring in bad estrogen, everything that can promote the growth of the fibroid, then you are not going to reverse that. That's number one. Number two, if you don't supply a blood that feeds the fibroid will shrink. Underline that, it's a great thing to get correctly. One more time. If you do not supply a blood that feeds the fibroid, then that fibroid will shrink. So what we are going to do in a natural way, instead of trying to send these polyphenols particle to block blood supply, what we are going to do, we're going to change our blood that it will not have things, it will not have all of these toxins, all the other stuff to feed the fibroid. We're going to change the blood. In other words, if you used to be exposed to estrogen precursors, if you used to be exposed to endocrine disruptors, we're going to start removing these things from your life. You see that? If you are consuming, for example, chicken and other food that are other animal products that are grown on estrogen. In America, they grow most of the animal with estrogen, with a lot of chemical, a lot of hormones. A chicken should last normally normal chicken should live up to a year and a half to be ready. But here we can make you all in few months. How? Hormones. So they grow fast. So if they put this in an animal and you eat it, what do you think is going to happen to you? That's how you grow this. Your fibroid is very fast. Your breast is too big. It's not because necessarily you should be like that, but it's the kind of hormone they put in the food. So it's important that we get it correctly, that if we can change the blood supply, if you can remove the androgen disruptors, we can start changing the diet, start removing the cause, and then now we can bring a better solution. So a regular person that is living in the system, what's their food? They eat cereal in the morning with soy milk, for example. Now the cereal is made heavily of wheat, and the wheat is contaminated with dioxin and zearalenone and many other stuff. Have been sprayed with Roundup. You're going to have to deal with the glyphosate. And if it's sprayed with atrazine, going to give a lot of hormonal disruptors also. And then you got to put a lot of makeup, a lot of other stuff, and then the stress of life, everything. The result is fibroid. So what we do is we are going to change the diet. And more than that, we are going to introduce herbs that is going to really alter your blood structure so that the fibroid can no longer feed on that blood. Everybody get me so far? Because if we can get it from the blood level and it will fix also the hormones and we stop the cause, then it becomes a matter of time. It might last you 6 months, it might last you a whole year. Depends. See? Now we have what we call calcified uterine fibroid. A calcified uterine fibroid is a benign gynecologic tumor that has outgrown its blood supply, leading to degeneration, explains the fibroid the treatment collectives. Degeneration causes calcium deposition, which results in what? Calcification. The calcification typically happens during the menopausal stage in women, as fibroid often regress once the body estrogen level decreases during menopause. So when a woman goes to menopause, if you have a fibroid before you go to menopause, and you're no longer producing too much estrogen, you're no longer having a period, guess what happened? Your fibroid is going to start shrinking very rapidly. But the other problem is, at the same time, if your thyroid is not working very well, because thyroid is the one producing the calcitonin to manage the way the body uses calcium. So the shrinking of the fibroid can also lead to the calcification. That's going to be a problem if your thyroid is not working right and we are having a problem with the calcium. So what should we keep in mind? If you're a woman right now, you're already in your menopause or you're about, I encourage you to really take simple things to decalcify, remove calcium buildup in the system. How do you do it? There are simple lifestyle and herb that will help you to break calcification from your system. Any good herb that break makers will break calcium buildup in the system, like melon, like sapo, and many other herbs. A good lifestyle will do it also. If you're taking things that are rich in glutathione, will do the same thing. Now, the common symptoms. So you're going to be having things like a heavy menstrual bleeding. Menstrual period will last more than a week. Pelvic pressure or pain. Frequent urination, difficulties emptying your bladder, constipation, and blockage in the or pain or leg pains. Yeah. Are fibroid cancerous? Nope, maybe 1%. And very rarely you're going to find something like that. Okay. So they are not, they are just benign. Meaning you should not be so scared. I mean, you can have enough time to fix it. Okay. So we recommend herbal medicines. We recommend minerals, enzyme drink, superfood. And we recommend hypothermia because the heat help a whole lot to bring more blood flow and also reduce the inflammation right there. Cell proliferant to replace things right. So we encourage to look at the fibroid from 12 dimensions, from acidosis and nutrition deficiency, loss of health, the agent of elimination, hormonal imbalance, toxicity, environmental pollution, the stress level, ignorance. Many have fibroid, never read any book on fibroid, never researched on fibroid. You just know some of the name of the medication. That's not enough. Parasite, mind, character, and personality, enzyme deficiency, and many other causes possible. Now, I put something here just to give us another idea. This is called fibroadenoma versus fibrocystic breast. This is a normal breast right here. It is a fibrocystic breast. What we are showing is the instant you start introducing things that are not okay for the body, you start creating what? Overgrowth. It is not just for the fibroid. It is happening in your breast everywhere. So I just put this here for us to pay attention that if you are living a lifestyle that start making a part of some of your organ overgrow, you got to pay attention to the whole body because problem is coming soon. It's a sign that your estrogen level is too much. You have too much of overgrowth, and that can lead to serious breast problem or any other trouble. So if you have fibroid, don't think that I only have fibroid. No, it's a sign that a lot of things are not going right. All right. So to have the enzyme drink, you can make a asparagus, dandelion leaves, kale, and collard green juice. And then you will also make another juice using red onions, 2 beetroot, lemon juice, and ginger. And then you can also use the sprout seed juice. And you mix everything together to make enzyme drink. What the enzyme really does in the body is number one, digesting the undigested protein. Number two, it reduces free radicals. Number three, it starts reducing a toxin from your system. And then it's also really boosts your whole system very much. It cleans, it repair, it rebuild. Enzymes have hundreds of roles that they play in your body. So just, you can make 32 ounces out of this and take 4 ounces every 30 minutes. Remember, we're saying to cleanse the blood we're going to supply. You remember that? We show the uterine embolization, right? So when you start using the enzyme drain to clean up the blood, you start altering the quality of the blood in a good way. Now, we also need to provide iron, because if the blood is rich in iron, it can bring more oxygen, and that will keep inflammation at the level of the fibroid very low and start influencing positively the fibroid growth. So now the hormones. You're going to balance hormone quickly. So we recommend this particular one right here. 3 parts of chasteberry. We put chasteberry here because this is one of the best to shrink your fibroid. One of the best herbs on earth to do that. We put a little bit of 1 part red raspberry. Now, if you study red raspberry leaves, it lets you know that it promotes estrogen. Which one? Good one. And why do we want to use it? We are using this not for the estrogen promotion, but much more to nourish your whole womanhood and balance hormone. But at the same time, what do we do is we put half of a black cohosh. The black cohosh promote much more progesterone, increase in the body. And this will buffer any estrogenic effect of the red raspberry leaves. Now, someone can say, no, you can't use raspberry leaves in the case of fibroid. No, sir, you can. If you can control the estrogenic effect of the red raspberry leaves with the black cohosh, it will be okay. Now, you have the blue cohosh also to help with the hormones. The stinging nettle, big time. Now, the stinging nettle will nourish your whole uterus, okay, your whole woman organ. Shepherd purse, this is to reduce bleeding. When you combine shepherd purse with another herb called alum root, you will really reduce the bleeding for women. So in a formula, we put herb that will reduce the bleeding. You put a herb that will shrink the fibroid. So to shrink the fibroid, you need the chasteberry and the hydrangea. These are good herbs to start shrinking the fibroid. And then if you look at the chaga is one of the best things on earth that I know of that balance your whole hormones. So when we are making this formula, you got to detox the organ. You got to cleanse, detox, nourish, and regenerate. When you get to the superfood, we have things that will help us to regenerate any part of your uterus that needs to be regenerated. So you can mix, the 1 part here represents 1 tablespoon. You can mix it together very well. You take a 1 or 2 tablespoons, make an infusion in 16 ounces of water, and you can drink this twice, 8 ounces at a time. Yeah. This one here is to prevent fibroid problem if you're not already there. Okay, just to keep your woman, I call this woman super tonic. So red raspberry leaves, lobelia, comfrey, marshmallow root, golden seal, melon, myrrh, false unicorn root, and cayenne. You keep your woman, the whole woman organ very good. Now the polyps, we say we're not going to spend time on them, so we can move on. Now, we have the polycystic ovarian syndrome that sometimes goes along with the fibroid issue. The healthy, normal ovaries look like this. You see right here? But it can become so much a problem. Look at the side, become bigger. So now you have too much development going on. And then you have the size that I show you that there's a lot of inflammation there. Now, what is the problem? The problem is the instant your hormones are mixed up, and now you are having fibroid problem, all the other problem can follow. Now, what is the difference between the fibroid and the polyps? We talk about it, or I won't go there again. Now, so what do you do in the case of fibroid? In the morning, you will be taking lemon water to hydrate your system, and then take something to clean up your bowel. Why? Let me come back right here. Maybe I can show this right. You see, when you are severely constipated and you have fecal matter so packed up there, you're gonna start squeezing your woman organ right here. That is a big problem. I think it was last year, somebody need help and call. While I was doing the consultation, she let me know that I asked, how many bowel movement you have a day? She said, no, 3 times a week. I said, really? She said, for how long? For most of her life. I'm like, okay. What your doctor says? Doctor says normal. What? How many times you eat a day? Or 2, 3 times. So if you eat a day 2 to 3 times, and you go have a bowel movement 3 times a whole week, you don't need a degree to see that this thing's wrong. The problem is what? You are going to start keeping a lot of fecal matter on you, and your colon can so swollen, and it will become huge. Do we know study has done, autopsy was done on people where they realized that when they die, people have on them more than 20 pounds of fecal matter sitting in them, sometimes 30. And this is a huge problem. So during the protocol, you are going to be really, really cleansing the blood. So in the morning, you take this is a laxative, Cascara Sagrada, or any laxative, depending wherever you are. When you take it, 30 minutes later or 20 minutes later, depends, take colon detox. Remember, why are we taking a detox? We talk about the endocrine disruptors. So you have a lot of chemical in your system through your body lotion, your soap, your water, your hair product, your everything. So we want to detox these toxins from your body because they are a serious problem. So you are going to take a detox. In the detox formula, make sure you put enough humic acid to detox and charcoal, psyllium husk, and slippery herb, and clay. We will know the formula already. And you are going to be able to start detoxing all of the heavy metal from your system. It is crucial. If you want to detox your system from all these chemicals, I'm sorry, you can shrink your fibroid. It might be in remission. Wait for failure. It's coming right back. It is a huge problem. 7 o'clock, take herbal tea. Either formula 50 or 35 or 36 or 65 or 66. It depends the case. It depends. And like I said previously, not all fibroid patients are the same. Therefore, you can't treat it the same way. If somebody have fibroid, but at the same time it's that have a diabetes type 2, well, guess what? Insulin is a growth hormone. If somebody have fibroid, have other issue, you got to pay attention to that. If the person is overweight, you have another issue right there. So it's important that we pay attention to all the factors before we see what and how we should really proceed and formulating the herbal formula for the person. 9 o'clock, enzyme drink. This is to really, really clean up the blood very much well. The herb do the same thing. So now we are having what? A brand new blood that we're going to supply to the fibroid. You see that? And this cannot make the fibroid grow. Everyone can say, remember the embolism, the uterine embolism is what? To cut off blood supply to the fibroid so that the fibroid will shrink. What we do is we cut off the bad blood supply and we replace it with a good blood supply that the fibroid cannot feed on. Then it will start shrinking naturally. You want to get it? Let me repeat it again. Because that is the key in the whole presentation right here. So this is the embolism, okay? The uterine fibroid embolization. Now, what they're doing is to put the polyphenols particle right here to prevent blood supply to the fibroid to shrink it. So what we are doing is we want to change your lifestyle. We want to detox all the endocrine disruptors from your system. We want a blood that will need to be cleansed, nourished, and completely altered in the right way. So when you come to the fibroid, you don't have any extra exogen estrogen that the fibroid is going to feed on. You do not have a blood that's full of filth anymore. The blood is detoxed from heavy metal and from androgen disruptors and from bad, all the undigested protein, everything. So we are supplying the blood that the fibroid cannot feed on and keep growing. Instead, we put a herb that will shrink the fibroid. You see that? We remove the thing that feed the fibroid, and now we give things that will shrink the fibroid. So it's not about what to use, about how do you proceed in the whole thing you are doing. So the enzyme drink is to clean up the blood and fix things around. The herbal tea to shrink the fibroid, balance the hormone, also detox heavy metal. The morning, clean up the colon and detox, using the detox formula to remove all toxin from your system. All the endocrine disruptors that are promoting the fibroid growth. At noon, we can do smoothie. In this smoothie, we're using high, good quality oil. Right here, let us pause. Most of the hormones are made from fat. Now, if you are feeding on soy oil, canola oil, corn oil, all of these bad oil that are heavily rich in omega-6, they are very inflammatory to your system. So what we do is we're going to remove all of this kind of bad oil and we put a good oil like hemp oil, like coconut oil. These are great oil that is going to really help in the shrinking process of your fibroid. Digestive enzyme and the minerals. The mineral is very rich in folate, in enzyme. The folate, that's the vitamin B9. In the mineral formula, we're using like sea mold, I have 92 mineral in it. We are having the zinc, enough zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, iron, everything we need. So in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, another herbal tea, 3 o'clock herbal tea, and 4 o'clock herbal tea. So all of these herbal tea are doing what? It's changing the blood constitution very quickly. It's bringing more iron, more zinc, things that are the fibroid cannot feed on, but instead it will start shrinking the fibroid. And at 7 p.m., 5 p.m., you will do the organics, white rice, potato, or millets. And then you do a good salad. That's just for the first day. The second day, you can change these things. If you do the salad with using, you can cook simple chickpeas and use red onion, avocado, and everything. You can change things around. You can do a pumpkin soup if you want to. So kind of your meal must be very healing. It's no longer cheese, no longer macaroni cheese, or things that really promote the growth. Now we give here what I call additional direction. So you are going to need castor oil hot compress. So get a very clean linen, plus depend how large you are. You use enough tablespoon to cover enough of your fibroid. Okay. And then number 2, we're taking a shaga. Why? We want to remove the possible calcification in the system also. And number 3, vitamin supplements, be that in the superfood and in the mineral formula. And number 4, the quality of the oil. And number 5, the hypothermia. So the infrared light can be used if it's necessary. Now, it is important in some cases to be very realistic, and I suggest for us to pay attention to this. Sometimes the fibroid can be there for years that it can becomes really big, so big that you can touch it. If you're in a case where it's becoming life-threatening, becomes too much constant, you need a blood transfusion or whatever, it's a very horrible. I will say, do 6-month program like this. Remove all the endocrine disruptors. You change your diet, you're taking herbal teas, taking enzyme things, you're doing everything to become very healthy enough. Then do the surgery, remove the fiber. If you do it like that, it will not grow back. But if you don't do anything, you just go for surgery, guess what? Just give 2 or 3 years, it's coming right back. Anyone hear me so far? So if you're in a situation where you are not able to reverse it fully, because sometimes it can be really, really big, you're going to do surgery, but before you do surgery, take 6 good months to really rebuild yourself, right? To clean up, detox, remove all the toxins, stop all the bad habits, all of the things that are creating the problem, change this thing and supply a great healthy blood. When you do the surgery, your fibroid will not come back. So am I promoting surgery? No, I'm saying that in some extreme cases, you might need it, but do it in the right way. And after the surgery, maintain a lifestyle that will not promote what? Any growth for the fibroid. All right. So what do we keep in this presentation is this. Number one, we need to wake up. We need to know that there's something going on. There's an attack on the soil of life, which is women. Something global about women is going on, even about men also. The women need to pay much attention to what's going on. I gave you the example of how women have been changed. In 1960s, women had their first period when they are 16. 2020, 10-year-old already have their period, have a 9-year-old. That is a so drastic change. And plus that, guess what? Fibroid up, breast cancer up, uterine cancer up. We should see there's something really damaging going on. If we look at it closely, coming from what? Our food that we don't have no control over. We hang it over to somebody else. The product we use for our body have been too much than it used to be. And our young girls start having too much issue even in their 20s. That is not normal in their 30s. It's not okay. We are sick God people. They tell a woman that it's normal to have a period for 7 days. It's not. There are sisters that are having 7-day periods, sometimes a little more. Put them on a product, I say, give you 6 months. If you do everything right, it will cut down to 2 or 3 days. That's it. I have many that have experienced that. It cut down from 7 days to 2 or 3 days. That's it. God did not create you to go through all of these things. It's a lie. It's a deception. It's a misery they're creating for many reasons that only them knows. So I am really encourage parents that we choose to educate our young people in the church, have a whole kind of awakening, education for the young and adult women to wake up to what is going on, to really understand who they are in the whole great controversy. It is through you that God is going to repopulate heaven. And obviously you are a target. You should see that. You see that? And all the vacancy that the fallen angel has left. So we really need to see that we are called to play a major role. Especially women, you are called to play such a role. You are privileged to partake the mystery of life. So you need to know that obviously you must be the target of the devil. Now they introduce so much into women now. Thing hair product, things that's not good for you at all. You gotta shave your whole body. Hey, you gotta put this, you gotta put that, you gotta do surgery. It's so much stuff, and they let them know that it's good. Go ahead, do it, but it's still killing you slowly. I really called everyone on this line. Talk to your health director, whoever. Do a program specially for the girl. for the young adult, even for the teenager. They start getting aware of what is going on. If you don't do nothing about it, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So please, that is the main message I would suggest that we have for today. Not just focus on what to use, but instead, let us wake up to the whole picture of the problem. It's more than just a fibroid. There is a conditioning behind it. All right. So thank you so much for your time. I encourage you, if you have fibroid problem, don't be afraid, don't be stressed out. There's a solution. It's going to be a little bit slow, but it's very effective. There are many people that revert their fibroid condition, and you can also. It will require from you obedience, determination, dedication, and slowly divine grace will be your share. All right. I call all women to really rethink the trust God placed on you. You are trusted to partake the mystery of life. You are the soil of life. For that reason, you are the target of the devil. And pay attention to anything you do from now. You did not create yourself. You did not choose to exist. God decided your existence. He made you in such a way that you can carry life. It's a trust. It's a serious trust. And a human being is called to reveal God's character to the whole universe, to vindicate God before the whole universe. And who should birth these children is you. That's what the devil will always go after. So please, these body products you are using and the lying to you that make you more beautiful, make you more this and that, it's a lie, it's a deception to poison you. Our mothers in the home, we need to pay attention to the food, the quality of food we offer our families. You are the center of life. You are the nurturer. You choose the health of your family. So please don't focus on what to use in this presentation tonight. Much, how do we really get serious and conscious and wake up to say enough is enough? We're taking our health back. Amen. Please go and change somebody's life. Go and wake up our young people, wake up the young adult. Let us wake up and really stop this plague, especially among us, so that we will not be suffering from the disease of the Egyptian. All right. God bless you again.
Amen. Amen, Pastor. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Okay, thank you, Pastor. We have a disclaimer. This presentation is for education purposes and is not meant to replace the advice of your medical professional. It is not to be construed as diagnosis, prescription, or treatment of disease. God is responsible for the result of obedience of his lifestyle plan. The receiver or user of this information must assume all risk personally for the use or misuse of these information. Therefore, this disclaimer serves as notice to the receiver and receivers that he or she is free to seek medical attention, advice, treatment, and diagnosis from a licensed medical personnel.